Hi, my name is Dr. Ashley Anglin. I'm the Director of Research and Strategic Analysis for United for Alice. And in this video, I'm going to take you through our website to highlight some of the updates that accompany our 2023 Alice release. From our homepage here, first I'm going to start with the National Overview page, which you can access here on our homepage or in the Research Center dropdown. On the National Overview page, you can view Alice data for all states, and as well as read and download our latest report, our national report. You can see state level data here in the map for all states, and you can also find some additional data for Alice partner states. When you have a state selected, you can scroll down to see county level details below. These top line statistics that are available for all US counties include total households, percent poverty, percent Alice, and percent above the Alice threshold. On this page, you can also see a national comparison that shows the average percentage of households below the Alice threshold for every state here in these orange bars. But you can also see the extent of financial hardship throughout the counties within each state, so the lowest range to the highest range as well. On the side here, you can see the state name as well as the rank. The National Overview page also highlights some national demographics, including the breakdown in the percent of poverty, percent Alice, and percent above the Alice threshold by our key demographic groups, including age of householder, household type, race ethnicity, and urban-rural location. For Alice partner states, there's additional data available. From the Research Center, you can access our partner states in this dropdown. I'm going to showcase Virginia for this demonstration. On our state overview pages, this is where you can get some of the key state downloads. So that includes the latest report, the data sheet, and there's also a function here to be able to export many of these pages to be able to share and create PDFs. With the state overview page, this is really the kind of the home page for each of our partner states, where you can see the top line statistics here, as well as look at the number of households, Alice, and poverty over time, both by the number of households and the percentage of households. You can also see in the houses below the total number of households for each year. Below all of our figures, we also have source and note options here, as well as the ability to download a Excel spreadsheet with the data that accompanies each of the figures with this download button here. We also have learn more boxes now throughout the site to highlight really what additional information can you find on the site related to the topics at hand. On this map, you can see the breakdown in the percentage of households below the Alice threshold across all of the counties in your selected state, as well as the range here and the breakdown of these numbers in table format. You can also see some of the different demographic groups for which we have this data available. Here we're highlighting race ethnicity. Anytime that you see a county select tool here, where it's a select county, this is an opportunity to filter the data to include one or more different counties. We also highlight some data on jobs within the state. And so in this table, you can see the top occupations in terms of total employment, as well as the median hourly wage for 2021, the percent median wage change from 2019, and new this year, the percentage of workers below the Alice threshold in each of these occupations. You can also dig into more details on the household budgets tab. This is where you can see the breakdown for one or more counties in terms of that household survival budget, which are the very basic items that are needed to live and work in the modern economy. You can see those items here, as well as hover over them to get the definition of the source, where the source comes from, as well as any updates since the last research release. You can see the variation in cost of living by geography, as well as hover over counties to see some of those most common household types in terms of the breakdown for the survival budget. And you can also look at the very itemized budget for these household types, as well as change this to include one or more counties. When you have multiple counties selected here, you can see a regional average for your selected geographies. Below that table, we have our new ALICE Survival Budget Calculator, where you can look at, for any of our partner states at the county level, different budget types. You can see here all of the different options that you can select in order to get a budget for that particular household type. And finally, below that, on our household budgets tab, you can see the ALICE Ability Budget, which is a slightly higher budget that includes a 10% savings category. For partner states, you can also view maps and demographics. We'll take a look at the Maps tab here. This is a great place to see all of the data that we have available for different geographies, as well as breakdown by different demographic groups. On this tab, use the filter tool to change and interact with the map. For example, to look at households by age, by race, ethnicity, and anywhere that you see missing data, that's because the group is too small to show in terms of maintaining data accuracy and confidentiality. But anything that's available is shown here in this map. You can also see here sub-county geographies, including zip code, county subdivision, and census designated place. On top of these maps, you can also layer some key resources, including things like healthcare facilities, libraries, and banks. You can zoom into the map, and you can also click on any of these locations to get the breakdown in terms of the ALICE data. You can also select the individual points to see which specific resources are at that location. For demographics, there's a lot of data that we have here that you again can customize to include one or more counties. On this tab first, you can see the overall number of households and percentage of households. This is where you can again use the county select tool to get that overall households over time. Below that, you can see the breakdown for families with children for your selected counties. Both that 2021 breakdown as well as the numbers over time. Here by age. And then also by race ethnicity. One important note here is that the census changed the way that they code and ask about race and ethnicity. And they did that in 2020. And so they asked for caution when comparing data before and after 2020, which is why that over time is not available here on the site. There is a note here. We think this is a good change, but it means that we have to wait to be able to see kind of apples to apples comparisons of race ethnicity over time. We can see on the labor force tab some additional information about the labor force, both at the state and county level. Here we have again that chart or this table that's showing this breakdown of those top occupations in terms of total employment, as well as the breakdown of the labor force in terms of the working population over age 16. So this figure shows the percentage of workers who are retired, who are not in the labor force for other reasons, who are unemployed, who are employed part-time salary paid or hourly paid, or full-time hourly or salary paid. This figure, it can also be customized by location. We also have available the well-being tab. This is where you can see indicators of well-being along with key ALICE data. I'm going to take a look at this for New Jersey because here you have all of the different options available that you can see on this tab. Some states have, all states have internet access as their primary indicator, but there's the ability to purchase additional indicators for states. So information about that, you can reach out to info@unitedforalice.org. But on this tab, what you're seeing is a comparison of the percentage below the ALICE threshold along with other key indicators. So for example, like I said, internet access, but also things like food insecurity, housing problems, home ownership, new higher wages, life expectancy. And when you have these different indicators selected, you can see the values on the map, but you can also scroll down to see the relationship between the two different indicators, as well as information about what that relationship means for ALICE households. I'd also like to highlight that we have an update in our legislative district tool, which you can access here from the Research Center menu. The legislative district tool takes our ALICE data and puts it into the key geographies that are needed for our policy making and for our districts. And so what you can see here is for any partner state, a breakdown of ALICE for the legislative districts, including congressional district, state legislative districts, upper and lower. If you know your district, you can select it here from the dropdown, or you can select directly from the map. With a legislative district selected, you can scroll down and see the breakdown of ALICE data by race ethnicity, as well as the percentage of households below the ALICE threshold in that geography compared to the percentage participating in SNAP, really highlighting again where you have a discrepancy between need and use of those services or availability. Below, you can see why this matters for ALICE, as well as some key technical details. To learn more about United for ALICE and our partners, you can do that here under the About Us, including the ALICE team, our state partners, and our research advisory committee members. You can also click here to look at our ALICE in Action database, where you can see some of the key actions that our partners are taking to make a difference for ALICE households in their community. So this is a great place to be inspired by the wonderful work that's going on and to get ideas for how you can make a difference for ALICE in your community. So thanks so much for this opportunity to take you through our website. The best way to get to know it is to dig right in. So I hope you enjoy. Thanks.